guys, it's eXtremeAzure here today, and I am bringing you a news reaction discussion. And today it is my reaction to the news of the Xbox One losing its ID card. Now, we all have ID cards. Even if you don't have to even be an adult to have an ID card. You know, your birth certificate is an ID card. Your driver's license is an ID card. Your passport, any official document is basically your ID card as long as it has all your personal information that identify you as a person. So, exactly what do I mean when I say that the Xbox One has, in effect, lost its ID card? I mean, after all, it's not a person, it's a thing, it's a machine, you know? So what exactly do we mean by that? Well, basically what I mean is the main thing that identified the Xbox One as being so different from PS4 and Wii U. The main differentiating factor that separated the Xbox One as being its own system is the Kinect. The Xbox One Kinect, which Microsoft originally decided to include as the core Xbox One experience, is now gone. Microsoft has announced just a few days ago, May 13th, 2014 to be exact, that beginning on June 9th, and that's during the time of E3. Haha. Sorry, because yeah, they planned that. Anyway, on June 9th, the new Xbox One bundles will go to retailers, and they will no longer include the Xbox One Kinect peripheral. It will now be sold separately. This has in effect shaved off $100 off the Xbox One price, bringing it down to $399. Oh yeah. So now, PS4 and the Xbox One are the exact same price. So, you can definitely see the seriousness of this matter. And for Microsoft to have done this, it's both a smart thing, but at the same time, it can also be a very bad thing. So I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of doing this. Now, the pros are basically, well, most Xbox users were like, you know, I don't really like the Kinect. I didn't like the original one, and I definitely didn't like the one I have now. Like, Review Tech USA, he said that he returned the Xbox One mainly because he just didn't like the Kinect. You know, like, he was angry because Microsoft was shoving this thing down their customers' throats, even though the general consumer base was like, why do I need this? Why do I even want this? No, I don't. So it is definitely a very smart thing for Microsoft to have listened to their fans and said, well, hey, you know, most people, they really don't want this thing to be included. They want to pay a little bit less because they just want the Xbox One, they want the controller, they want the games. They don't want the Kinect. And so now they've done the exact same thing what they did with the original Kinect for Xbox 360, and have now decided to sell it as a separate device. So now, starting from June 9th, new Xbox One bundles will be released for $399 that do not include the Kinect, but if you do want it, you can, of course, pay the extra $100 for it. So you can add it to your Xbox One experience. Now, for Xbox One users who got the original bundle, you know, the one that included the Xbox One's Kinect, well, they aren't getting any compensation, and that's reasonable because, hey, if they wanted to get on the experience early, there's no reason why Microsoft should say, well, you know, now that we're removing the Kinect, I guess you guys probably want, you know, some type of reward for your loyalty regardless. No, it doesn't really work that way. So, for those who are now angry because they decided to get the Xbox One early, well, that's too sad for you, but really, there's no reason why Microsoft should go ahead and give original users the compensation, because it doesn't make much sense. Like, what can they compensate for? You know? So, but now you can go ahead and make money off of the Kinect if you don't use it. You can go ahead and sell it on eBay or sell it on Amazon, you know? Or Craigslist, since it's now an optional accessory instead of being a mandatory accessory. That was my main gripe with the Xbox One when it was first announced, because the original Kinect, and I remember this very, very well, because it was when I saw the commercial for the original Kinect for the Xbox 360, I thought to myself, wow, that looks really cool. So when I went on vacation to the States, I was pretty set on getting myself an Xbox 360 with a Kinect. It was going to be my very first system I ever owned. I had never owned a console before it. I was only gaming on PC mainly. But here, I was determined to make this my very first console, simply because the Kinect, when I first saw it, its first impression to me was that it's really cool. I've never seen anything like this before, except for like in the movies, and now, here it is, you can be able to control your game with your body movements, not even holding physical controller. I thought that was amazing. But I went in Best Buy, and they had a demo kiosk set up for the Kinect. And so natural, I said, well, if I'm going to buy this, I want to try it first, just to see how it was. And their demo game was Sonic Freeriders, which is like a Kinect exclusive. And I couldn't even start the game up. The game was started up, but just to get through the menu and start a race was almost impossible. And many people, I've watched many people before try it, and they looked like they were having trouble. And then when I went up there and tried it for myself, I was like, what is this? What's going on here? And that basically killed the Kinect experience for me. I've played Kinect games after that. One of my friends, she owns a Kinect, and she owns Kinect Sports and Kinect Adventures, as well as Dance Central 3. And I've played all three of those games, and they were responsive enough. But when I finally got that experience with Kinect where, it actually worked, it was painfully obvious to me that this was something that Microsoft obviously needed to do some more R&D on. The idea of the Kinect is actually a good one, and with Xbox One it's even better. So the idea behind the Kinect is not bad at all. It's a very useful device. The problem is, A, developers really don't want to do much with it, and B, it really isn't that big of a deal to where it's an absolute necessity. It really isn't, alright? It's great for optional experience if you want it, but definitely it's not something that you really need in order to truly enjoy the entire Xbox experience for what it is. And I learned that with the original Kinect. Now, I have not had the opportunity to try out the one for Xbox One, but going by what I've seen on YouTube, and talking to different people who do own the system, the same thing still applies. They still don't think it's necessary for the core experience. So for Microsoft, they've gone ahead and done this, and so magically at the time of E3, they removing the Kinect from the Xbox One was indeed a good idea in terms of giving people more options. And now it's more competitively priced, because just to get started with the Xbox One in its original form, for the $500 bundle, in the end you ended up paying about $5,000. Really, no, I shouldn't even say that. Paying close to $1,000 just to get the experience started up, because after you buy the bundle, of course, you're going to want to buy maybe, let's say, 2 games. That's $120 extra. Then you probably going to get one extra controller. That's about $70 more. And then you want to go ahead and, of course, get your Xbox Live Gold membership, and that's an extra $60. So that's almost $1,000 right there. So it was indeed expensive to jump in to the Xbox One experience, and now Microsoft has gone ahead and shaved off $100, so that's basically almost 2 games right there you can now get, now that you're saving $100 versus originally when it was $500 including the Kinect. So it's definitely a good move from Microsoft, and the Xbox One has undertracked as of lately. It hasn't surpassed the Wii U like the PS4 has, and it's definitely not even close to the PS4. The PS4 has sold half as much as the Xbox One has, and while the PS4 has struggled to be in availability in many regions, the Xbox One has been in major availability. So much so that Microsoft announced that they were planning to slow down development for it, because there's so much in abundance at retailers that there's no need to keep making a mass amount of new units and shipping them out. So hopefully this can get all all of these units, you know, out into households, you know, and increase sales, because definitely that's a good thing. As you can tell by my video history, I definitely do love Nintendo, and I love the Wii U. That's the main console I'm rooting for, but by no means am I a fanboy to think that, you know, all the other consoles are, you know, curses on the gaming industry and should be dead. Nah, man, it's never that serious. And so it's definitely good news for Microsoft, and I hope that the Xbox One will start selling after this, since it's now much more competitively priced than what it was before. And they'd be even smarter to, you know, include free game with it, because that's what Nintendo's doing. Nintendo's giving you 2 free games with the new Mario Kart 8 bundle. For a month you can get 2 free games, but basically after that you can still get 1 free game, being Mario Kart 8, plus a controller, plus a peripheral, which is of course a major value at $330. So then, now let's talk about the bad side to all of this. Now, I've just gone over a lengthy explanation as to why it's a good thing for Microsoft to go ahead and do this, but why is it a bad thing? Well, like I started off the video, and as you can see by the title, like I said, this will in effect make the Xbox One lose its ID card. Meaning that it is going to lose its individuality. That's a funny word to say. An individuality per se. It's going to lose its uniqueness in a way. And that's simply because, well, the PS4 or the Wii U don't have their Kinect. While the PS4, it's called PS4 eye camera, something like that. Anyway, there is a device for the PS4 that basically mimics the Kinect almost completely so, but for what it's worth, the PS4 or the Wii U do not have their variation of the Kinect. Each of these systems have what makes them special, and for Xbox One, that's what the Kinect was. That's what set it apart from Wii U. That's what set it apart, especially from PS4, because PS4 is of course its direct competitor. It's of course the nearest thing to it. In most cases, the PS4 surpasses it. And that's the thing with consoles, you know, what sets console apart and what makes them so special in their own way is of course what's exclusive to them. These are game consoles, so of course whatever exclusive experiences you can get on said console, that is what's going to attract players and drive sales. That's why Nintendo is doing just fine with very little third-party support, because hey, they have some of the biggest franchises in gaming history, so they don't really have to worry if the next Call of Duty or if the next Assassin's Creed or Mass Effect or Battlefield doesn't come to their systems, basically because in another world they have Metroid, Zelda, Mario, Kid Icarus, Kirby, Pokemon, Super Smash Brothers. They have all these franchises that sell in the multi-millions, and they've existed for almost 2 decades, in some cases almost 3 decades, so they don't have to worry. In Microsoft's case, Microsoft does not have the same exclusive franchises that Nintendo does, and even Sony does, because Sony has a few of its own exclusive franchises that do carry some heavy weight around, and Microsoft on the other hand doesn't. Like, really, what exclusive titles come to Xbox systems that are to die for, other than maybe Gears of War and Halo? Dun 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 dun. Kinect games? Yeah, sure. Anyway, so as I was saying, you know, that's what I mean. Outside of the Kinect, the Xbox One doesn't have much going for it in terms of exclusivity. You know, Microsoft has been buying a few third-party titles to release exclusively on the system, like we've seen with Titanfall, and now we're also seeing with Sunset Overdrive and a few other titles, but in the end, it still is the least amount of exclusive games. So what else is there? Well, there's the Kinect. And now, since that's no longer being included as part of the core experience, this means that Microsoft is going to have to work twice as hard to give people a reason to buy their new system. They're gonna have to work twice as hard to convince people that, hey, you need to get an Xbox. Forget PS4, forget Wii U. You need an Xbox One in your home. It can do everything you need it to do and more. That's what they need to try and convince people now, since the Kinect is gone. They need to buy more exclusives if they have to. They need to start making some development studios if they have to. But what I'm saying is they need to right now try twice as hard to try and push the Xbox One to get it in people's households. Okay, you lost the Kinect. Good. Okay, you dropped the price. Good. But you need to do more. They need to do a lot more in order to get people to come over to the Xbox One camp and leave the PS4 camp and leave the Nintendo camp in favor of them. Because in the end, Wii U, even though it's not doing so hot right now, dude, it has Mario Kart, it has Smash Brothers, it has the next Zelda game coming, it potentially has the next Metroid game coming. Mario sells millions of systems, and who knows, maybe Nintendo might be planning some type of super awesome open world Pokemon game that's definitely going to blow sales off of the rooftops of the planet. So Wii was just fine with Nintendo's first-party exclusives, and then Sony has all the third-party support in the world, plus indie support, plus some of Sony's first-party gems going for it. Plus it has the most powerful hardware, so you know developers are going to be making the most next-gen looking games on the PS4. So therefore, that leaves Microsoft looking like, Gears of War? Maybe a new Halo? Like, come on, man, work with us. No, they need to do more than that. They need to be aggressive now with the Xbox since they've removed the Kinect. That is what they were pushing as being the ultimate Xbox experience. You know, you need the Kinect. You need the Kinect to use your voice to control the system, to log into the system, to navigate through menus and control games in new ways, and to be able to do the little air gestures and stuff like that. Now that all those features are no longer part of the core experience, they need to find something else to show people that, hey, don't buy PS4, don't buy Wii U, come buy an Xbox One. They need to come up with more exclusive games. Multi-platform titles are multi-platform. Therefore, you cannot convince people to come to your version of the game, of that multi-platform game, unless there's something really, really good on it. Alright, so you see what I mean? So they need to get more exclusives going. They need to do something, anything, in order to show people that the Xbox One is the system that they need to run. Alright, now, I would definitely get one now if I had the money, and if I lived in the US, really. I only get to go to the US maybe 2 to 3 times a year, so that's when I do most of my shopping. So, in case I can't even get it right now, but now I'm considering it more than I was before when the Kinect was a mandatory device. Now, since it's longer, now since it's $100 less, who knows, I might pick it up sometime in the future, but definitely I already own a Wii U, so I'm pretty satisfied right now. But if it ever does come to the point where I need to get a next system, Xbox One just got a little bit higher on the probability list. So regardless, for those of you who already own the system, kudos to you. I really hope you enjoy it. For those of you who've been sitting on the fence about the system, wait. Just wait until E3. Yes, this is definitely a good announcement, but wait to see what games Microsoft is going to be giving us in the foreseeable future. And then, make your decision. Alright guys, it's been a great one, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, these types of videos are meant for feedback, so please feel free to go ahead and leave a comment, and of course, give it a rating. And of course, personally message me if you want to have a one-on-one discussion. No big deal at all. Alright guys, so enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later. And as always, keep on gaming.
Mm-hmm.